good feeling, especially at this theater. How many people have been here before to this theater? There's a lot of people that haven't, which is really thrilling. This theater's 90 years old this year. It's its birthday. I came here forever. I love watching movies here, and so it's a thrill to be able to be here and show this one. I don't have much to say. There's the old phrase like, "Don't bore us, get to the chorus." I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to get to the chorus. The movie's great. I think you're going to like it. Forget your phones for 2 hours. Just put them away. Fuck it. They'll still be there when you get back. Okay. 70 mil. Here you go. Licorice pizza. Thank you for coming.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, there we go. Good evening, everyone. When it works too well. My name is Sara. I'm an editor of Rag, and I'm so thrilled to welcome you to this Q&A with Licorice Pizza. At this time, please join me in welcoming tonight's guests. We have producer Sara Murphy and stars Alana, Haim, and Cooper Hoffman. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on a brilliant movie. Usually when I speak to actors, I like to ask where it all began, you know, what your first job was, your first movie role, your first TV role. This is both of your first acting role ever, correct? Yes. Cooper, did you at least like do plays in high school or anything like that?
No, I never wanted to do anything like that. I have an immense amount of stage fright, which this is kind of
They're nice people.
Yeah, but so no, I never really wanted to do theater or anything like that. I always did crew, and even during crew, you had to go up on stage and bow with everyone, and I wouldn't go up. I'd hide in the bathroom and wouldn't go up. I just hated it. I didn't like doing it, but then Paul asks you to do it, and you're like, yeah, why not? Let's do this. Of course.
And Alana, I know you did at least one play in school, right?
Yes, I was.
I know, right?
Oh my God.
And you're a professional.
I am kind of. I'm gonna hold the mic a little less close to my mouth. I was the Wicked Witch of the West in high school.
Wow.
Thank you. Everyone's like, oh no, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
And Sara, I always like to ask where people got started. You know, what was the first thing you ever remember working on? Whether it was as a producer or an intern?
Actually, I worked with Cooper Hoffman's father, Philip Hoffman. That was my first job in the business. So I met Cooper when he was 1 year old.
Oh.
This is my second mother, ladies.
Are you surprised to turn out to be such an amazing actor?
No. No, Cooper's always been the most sensitive, observant, empathic little boy into young man. Since I know him, so it makes perfect sense.
So how does this happen? At what point does Paul Thomas Anderson say, you know, I've written a role with you in mind? Did he tell you he was thinking about it, or does he just show up one day and give you a script?
For you.
For me?
No, it's for both of you.
For both of you. Do you want to answer first, or do you want me to answer first? Oh, look at us already.
I'm going to say Alana.
Okay. Me and Paul have known each other for a very long time. He's worked on a lot of our music videos with my band, Haim. And we were very lucky enough to have him help us. We played this festival called Coachella. And I don't know, you guys. We played Coachella, now that I know that you know it. And after Coachella, he turned to me and said, I'm gonna put you in a movie. And I was like, okay, not gonna happen, but thank you. And then years, it took us a long time, but I would hear stories of a waterbed and a pinball machine and a Gary, and I would just hear these stories that he would tell me from, time to time. And then one day I was in London and I was very jet lagged, and I got a email now for Paul Thomas Anderson. And it was a Word document. And I opened said Word document, and it was a script. And I had never read a script before. I was like, oh my God, Paul, thank you. I'll read this, please, and thank you. It was a Word document.
It's very, very inconvenient.
It was, and I mean, to be honest, also step one was downloading Word on my phone, which took forever. And then I opened said Word document, and it was an untitled script. And the first name on the first page was a character named Alana. And I was just flattered that Paul was going to use my name. Oh, Paul, that's so nice. And I read the script, I think, 3 times that night. I was so obsessed with all the different stories, and I loved that it took so many different turns and it was a roller coaster of emotions. I fell in love with Alana. Well, it was just Alana at that point, not Kane, just Alana. And I called him and gushed about the script, obviously, because it was incredible. And he asked, would you ever, think of playing Alana? Because you need to play Alana. It's Alana. It's you. And I immediately said yes, of course. I always love new adventures, so obviously I said yes. And then I hung up the phone. I went to bed, and then I woke up and was like, what did I just do? What did I just do? But it was just really, Paul, I had a million doubts if I could do this or not, but Paul didn't have any doubts, which was very nice. And now I'm sitting in this chair talking about licorice pizza, and it's pretty crazy.
That's amazing. And Cooper, for you, you said that you had never really wanted to act, but it was because Paul asked.
Yeah, I never wanted to act before this, and it's because I had so much trust in Paul as a director and also just as a friend, and that was kind of the lure for me. And the thing that I wanted to do was just work with him and be with him constantly, and that's why that's not why I did it. I love the story, and I enjoy Gary as a character, and I enjoy the actual relationship between Alana and Gary, and that's a big part of it. But I probably wouldn't have done it if it wasn't Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did he surprise you too? But first of all, sending you a Word doc. Maybe it was on Notepad.
It was on Word. I'm pretty sure it was on Word for me as well. It was on Word. And I have the first. I actually have the first script on my computer, and I'm saying that like I saw it recently, and that just made me think of that. But he called me and said, "Hey, I'm working on this new script. Do you wanna read it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So I read it. I was like, "I love the character. I love Gary. I love the story." Not thinking he was gonna give me a part or anything, but just kind of saying my thoughts. And he said, "Well, me and Alana are coming into New York to do auditions. I would love to just hear you read it so I can hear what the words sound like out loud." So he's exactly. He's very much. He's not gonna give me all of it. He's just gonna, he's gonna stretch it out over. I don't know. Was it a year? Yeah, it was a year. So that was the very beginning, and I read with Alana, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't very good, but it was great and a lot of fun. For me at least, I was like, there was scenes where you're supposed to be mad or sad, and we were doing it like so happy, and I was like, and then Paul told us that later, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right. We had no clue what we were doing, but he saw something there, and that's thank God. And but then, it was a long string of camera tests and going out to see Alana, and going out to see Paul and Sara. And then he sat me down with the Haim sisters and said, "Got the part?" And I was just like, yes, finally. We all cried. It was great.
That's amazing because you didn't really think you wanted to be an actor, but then you really came to want this part.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, I want to be an actor, and I don't, and that's the annoying thing to say. I don't, I don't know. Yeah.
I think
I want to be an actor. I don't know what I'm saying.
You just starred in a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I think you can say it now. Say you're an actor.
I'm an actor, guys.
through film. And I don't know, I guess it was like 6 years ago, after I worked for Phil, I started working independently as a producer. I made some very small films, and called me up one day, and he was like, I hear you know how to make things for no money. I was like, I wish I didn't have that reputation. That's a bad reputation. Anyway, he wanted to do some music videos, and so we started working in music videos. Started working with Haim. We had known Alana for a long time. And then it sort of blossomed, sort of organically came together. And I felt very honored to be asked to be a part of it, especially because of the familial nature of it.
And you mentioned that the two of you kind of had a screen test, you got to know each other. This film obviously hinges on your chemistry. Did you find that was pretty instantaneous? You had a lot in common?
Oh, we hated each other so hard. I think it was pretty instantaneous. I mean, you're being very modest. You were always going to be my Gary Valentine. There was no other Gary Valentine in my eyes. Because I read with a lot of really talented young actors, but we just didn't have a connection. When me and Coop read, I knew that I found my Gary, and we talked, I think, every single day leading up to filming. Cooper lives in New York, I live in LA, so it was a lot of FaceTime. And we were just so excited. I mean, it's such an honor to be a part of a film like this, and I think we just wanted to get started as soon as possible. And so we just, I mean, it was like just FaceTime, getting to know you. We would have FaceTime dance parties, a lot of FaceTime dance parties. Don't be embarrassed by your word. Own it. Own it.
Playlists, like
Okay.
making some dancing was involved, not that much, but yes.
This may be a silly question, but something that always impresses me is when people haven't been on the set before, haven't been in front of the camera. I mean, obviously you've done music videos. Did they give you any kind of a crash course on like hitting your mark or having a giant camera in your face, or did you learn on the job?
No, we learned on the job.
No, God, no. No, and that's what Paul wanted. He wanted it to be, because I asked Paul, and I think you did too, was like, should I get acting lessons before we do this? And he was like, no, I just want you to. I want you guys with no, with nothing, just you. And so, no, there was no crash course, there was no nothing. The first day, he didn't even tell us when we were going to start shooting. He just said action. He put us by the truck and said action, and then we went. And then we figured it out
from there. Tell him what the first day was.
What?
Tell him what the first day was.
First day was Bradley Cooper.
It was John Peters.
First day, I had John.
It was Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, it was Barbara Streisand. I just can't pronounce it. I just can't pronounce it. I'm not saying it. I cannot pronounce it. But yeah, the first day was Bradley Cooper standing over me, gripping my shoulder, and I just couldn't break eye contact. And he was so great. I mean, he was so great, but Paul also was like, don't talk to him, because we're supposed to be terrified of him. And I was petrified.
But it did bring us together.
Oh.
It did. We solidified our team.
Yes. You had to.
We had
to have each other's backs. No one else did. It was good.
I can't believe that was the first day.
Yeah.
That's Sarah, was that by design? That seems almost cruel.
It was by design. We were actually, the reason we started shooting so early at the sort of very beginning, I mean, during the pandemic last year, is because Bradley Cooper had to go do another movie, so we had no choice but to start with the craziest sequence of the movie.
Wow. So then that driving you, which by the way, I think I left marks in the seat chair because it is so tense and I don't know where it's going to go and how often can you say that. I just forgot my question because I just got wrapped up in
That was day 2.
Yeah, that was day 2.
That was literally day 2.
And you were really driving that van.
I am really driving the van. That is me. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you. That is me.
Okay, but after that, did everything seem easy?
Honestly, no. I mean, it was just.
Seem easy in what way?
Oh, I don't know that. No, you weren't driving a giant.
No, I wasn't driving a van, but no, every day was, obviously we were new at this, but every day was super exciting, and I mean, it was like, I feel like it was like summer camp. we were all together and just a big family.
Yeah, there's different challenges for every day, whether it was running 3 miles or
A lot of running, so
or
much running.
just doing a scene, which we had never done before, you know, and having to work off of each other.
Our first like real scene
Was
together
the fight.
was the fight. Over pinball machines.
Yeah.
That was the first time that we acted together really without John Peters.
We both left that day being like, that was awful. Paul just gunfire us at some point. I don't know, this movie's not happening, but I think you liked
We
it.
lived to tell the tale.
Yeah, we have to tell the tale.
Paul actually said that he started to get annoyed with the two of you because you kept saying like, "Are you gonna fire me?" Or
Yeah. Well, that was my. I mean,
That was my issue, too.
every day I would just ask him, "Am I fired?" And he would say, "No, you're not fired." And then even on the last day, I was like, "Am I fired?" He was like, "No," and he got super annoyed. I was like, "Alana, get it together. You're not fired." But if I didn't get fired that day, then I feel like I could survive the next day. I was just, I think, constantly just trying not to get fired. That was like our motto: don't get fired.
I love that he said that. That's so funny.
I know, he said it.
Well, he was sitting here
It's
saying
true.
that you were saying like, "I can't believe I didn't get fired." He was like, "You're not getting fired. I gotta
No,
get down."
He said no news is good news.
Yeah.
That's what it was. If he didn't have something to say to you, that was good. That was kind of what it was.
That's excellent direction.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're not there to get complimented all day. You're there to do the job.
So I don't think any of you were probably alive during the 70s. Did they give you a crash course on that where films they wanted you to watch were still you're 80s there. Yeah.
What were the materials that were given to you?
A lot of music.
A lot of
A lot of
music.
music, a lot of movies, a lot of MASH.
A lot of MASH.
Partridge Family.
Yes.
A lot of TV shows. And just, you know, trying not to do anything that is the 21st century, you know, is no Postmates, no
Yeah.
Instagram, no Snapchat, you know.
Honestly, it just made my life so much harder because I would have to pick you up every day to feed you.
Yes, Alana actually did.
I actually was your chauffeur.
Yeah, Alana did drive me. Well, we couldn't see anybody
That's
because it was COVID. So Alana was forced to drive me around to where I wanted to go eat. I asked Paul to get me a bike, but he said that you might crack your head open, and then that was that.
Wow. I feel like this is all feed and relationship on film. I love it. So where would you guys go?
To eat?
Yeah.
Where would I take you? All the valley hotspots.
So much in it.
The original Ketsuya, when we were feeling sassy.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of In-N-Out, a lot of Coquito Mas.
Yeah.
I would drive Cooper down Ventura Boulevard and tell him about my life.
Yeah, Alana would give me a crash course. on
My favorite street in the valley.
Valley. Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Sarah, for you, what ended up being the most challenging part of making this film? You know, from a technical perspective, or just one of the. You're not allowed to say money. Because money is always the hard part.
No, I mean, we started shooting this last July. We were one of the first productions that started back up after the COVID shutdown. And so a lot of it was creating systems, recreating systems, creating new systems, and trying to navigate the new world of the COVID system. And I think from a producerial standpoint, that was the majority of what my day was every day, which was hard to be that far away from the creative sometimes. But yeah, it was also the first time people were coming back from work, so there was a great deal of fear. But Paul really cultivated a family. I mean, he has all of his sort of diehard regulars that he puts together, and everybody in the movie, all the extras are his kids' friends, his kids' friends' parents. So it was very insular, and I think everybody took it very seriously. And we got it done. We didn't get shut down. So we shot 68 days.
And people were probably really excited.
People were excited to be back. We were like very dedicated and determined to get it done.
So Cooper and Alana, now that you two are actors, what was it like seeing yourself on the big screen for the first time?
This isn't the first. Tonight isn't the first time. Is what I'm saying. It's so weird.
This is the first time you watched it?
No, this is not the first time. I know I've seen it before. I hate looking at myself for that long.
We have so much acne.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, we have so much acne.
We have so much.
No, I know it's hard to hear myself talk for that long as well. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, seeing myself, I was like, could I not have just washed my face maybe a little bit more?
It wasn't that. It was never.
I can never figure it out.
What do you let you wear makeup?
No, I did my own hair and makeup for the whole movie. So did Coop. I mean, you didn't wear makeup
I didn't
at all,
wear
but
makeup. He didn't
but
wear
yeah,
makeup.
no, I did. I woke up at 5 a.m. every morning, did my hair, did my makeup, and I'm terrible at both, so that's why I look like that. But it was great. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. We look real, and that's the most important thing. Vanity doesn't matter when you're making a movie like this because we're real. Cooper's supposed to be a real teenager. I'm supposed to be in my early 20s. And in my early 20s, I still have acne. We only shot this a year ago. It's not like I miraculously had like a skin transformation. I have a lot of acne, and that's okay. Of course that's okay, because it's real.
You so you both look great, but I like to think of this with Sara as one of the ways you save money. You're like, they'll do their own hair.
It was a strategic choice.
So what's up next for the two of you? I mean, now that you're actors, are you looking at other roles? Are you going to do something else?
I have to go back to my other job.
Your day job.
I gotta go back to music. Come on.
I do not want you to quit your day job, so that's okay.
I don't want to quit it either. I still love music, but this is also a very crazy chapter that was so incredible, and I had a blast doing. I got the bug, I would say. I got the bug. I don't know. We'll see. The future feels great, and I'm just happy to be able to sit here and talk about this movie that I loved making so much.
Good for you.
I'm not doing anything right now. I'm going to an acting conservatory. That's what I'm doing. I'm working.
Yes.
Yeah, working. Yeah. You know, you gotta get better before you start doing other things without Paul. You know, without him holding your hand. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm doing 3 Beavers.
No, don't say that.
Well, I want to remind everyone this movie will actually be in theaters for everyone to see this weekend. I don't know if you need to spread the word because I think everyone's dying to see it already, but please do tell people how amazing it is. Thank you all so much for being here.